Amen. Good to be here again. The last 18 months seems to have gone really quickly. And of course, many things have happened since we last met. Both in the world, in the church, and also in this movement. I'm sure you're all aware that the midnight cry, the message of the midnight cry, has already been given. And our understanding is that we're in a completely new dispensation now. And what that means for each and every one of us, I think no one is absolutely certain. We're still finding our way to understand exactly what's going on. And that's despite the fact that we know so much information. In fact, the more we learn, we find the less we understand. I want to begin this presentation by reading the Spirit Prophecy quote. I'll give you two references. First Selected Messages, page 122.
Okay, we selected message.
And the other one would be Last Day Events.
Last Day Events,
page 156, paragraph 2. I'm going to be reading from Last Day Events. This chapter is a collection of statements taken from the Spirit Prophecy, and it's chapter 11. It's called Satan's Last Day Deception. That's the title of the chapter. That is not a Spirit of Prophecy statement, of course. That's a statement by the compilers. But it's accurate. Accurate statement of what these collection of Spirit Prophecy quotes are going to be dealing with. She says this: we have far more to fear from within than from without. The difficulties or hindrances to strength and success are far greater from the church itself than from the world. Unbelievers have a right to expect that those who profess to be keeping the commandments of God and faith of Jesus will do more than any other class. I'll break that down. Unbelievers have a right to expect something from the church. Those of us who keep the commandments of God and claim to have the faith of Jesus, they expect more from us than from other people. And we should do more to promote and honor God by our consistent lives, that we would set a correct example and influence to them. But how often have the believers of God, who profess to promote the truth, proved the greatest obstacle or hindrance to its advancement? The unbelief, the doubts that we express, the darkness that we cherish, All of these encourage the presence of evil angels.
Nabi kakek nanduga karongo e nanusura tiki ko na ya orang la meron tini kenamani.
And they open the way for Satan to do his work.
Kanang nundola wa nanguni sala mera warti woro meta kamana mama da kada kenamani.
So I want to summarize what she's saying in this passage.
Obe tokoro trata labi kau mapatakan nunua konsep.
Too often we think that the enemy is outside in the world. And that is true. However, we should be more concerned about the dangers from within.
Now
this is not a passage that is new to us. The statement that we have more to fear from within than without. Now if you went to a conference church, or just to ask the conference structure, they will apply a passage like this to this movement. They say to their church members, you need to be more afraid of this movement than the world. Because we're more dangerous. And for a long time, we would apply this statement to the church. That lay people in the church have more to fear from the conference structure, from the leadership, than they do from the world. But we've now come to a time period that we're beginning to get a statement like this and apply it to ourselves. Brothers and sisters who used to walk together a few months ago are now taking statements like this and they're accusing their brothers and sisters and warning the people like yourselves, to be very cautious about who you listen to. Because you really do need to be more concerned about what's going on internally than externally. And she says the reason for this is because this will accomplish Satan's work. If you follow the wrong person. I hope that every single one of us is aware that there has been separation going on in this movement for many years. We normally mark it beginning 5 years ago in 2014. We did have a separation a number of years before. But the first major international separation that we saw occurred in 2014. After that event, we lost individuals along the way. Then only a few weeks ago, the end of August this year, the final separation occurred in this movement. The ministry, Future for America, which is headed by Elder Jeff Pippinger, who all of us recognize as the leader of this movement, God's appointed messenger, separated from us. Many brethren followed him, but the vast majority of the flock of God remain faithful and true.
Ili usar tanga sidik ngamin ito semua.
So, I don't know how many of us understand the issues at hand.
Usikla bidu bikin ba, nakila na kaya mo.
If we understand the arguments that are being made,
Bukan nakila na kabay bagu na, kaya mayang tawas mo.
but this camp meeting, we're hoping it's our opportunity,
Memutar, mita kanina, ngunum lang mikata.
yours and mine,
Ini laki na biyaw,
and the other speakers,
laki na biyaw tangan presenters.
to answer questions
Menda na biturun, na taro.
as best as we're able to.
Na taro kaya nga na taro.
At one level, the issues are straightforward,
E nandun na sana, nakan ko sa mata sa ito.
whereas in any human interaction, the arguments are complex.
Yo, nabitang na yung ulit ka na tibo, hindi sa mikilin kanji na.
It's very easy for us to accuse them and them to accuse us,
Pero ako sa ramin tabi bitaki,
but this statement is more true than it's ever been for each and every one of you.
sangka hindi na nga na natubili kang may binayang prosay. Elang mo mo.
You have more to fear about what's happening today in this situation, this separation,
Sa nung tulbi ka tabi na rebag sa wali, na kaya ang tunggo wiki na iloma,
than you have about what's going on in the world at this moment.
may nanumura ba ka nabi kaya ang tibito na.
We're now in a period of preparation.
Ang sa tingong doon mo lang ibabarang.
Everything that can be shaken is now being shaken.
Nabi kaki na raw ni kuritaki, ni kuwa sa kuritaki.
This period that we're going through,
Nangunang dalang ko tinggo,
both the Bible and the Spirit of Prophecy identify in the following way.
sama matatatak sa tungan na was ni kalung na kung tampo kinayang proses.
This is Jacob's time of trouble.
Ano sa lamang kong tinggo doon na ngunang din rin may makakang mo check ako.
Each and every one of us are in trouble.
Kaya nabakan nung dua, kaya sa tinggo doon na muna din.
Our relationship with our brother and our sister
Nung nabiyo kani, biyo ko na nung nagpaw kani,
is in jeopardy.
sa wala di sa tinggo.
Our relationship with God is being questioned.
Sa nung nabiyo kani, bata kinakalong, ngunang mo sa kalong ipiki.
And before we can come through this history as victors successfully,
Meron weekend na may dalala ko dun na tamang nunong ko, may tamatang ka, yung kinito ka ba?
each of us must understand our personal interaction and our walk with God,
Kaya naman nung dua, may nakila, anong tabiyo ka, hindi mo kinuha ito ng Diyos.
and we need to understand whose side we are on.
May nakila, o di, naman o di, kaya natorwa.
It sounds simple.
Raraw sa tiyo. Piniraraw.
People like certain individuals.
Kumata, si Song Kamata nung dua,
They trust them.
ano itong warag biro ko yun.
So it's not as straightforward an issue as just saying, look to the truth.
Siyang sabi ni Raraw, may natutuko na, rin nga, may natutuko. May baka natutuko.
Like you, I have family and close friends,
May baka tiki ko nga, tinulong ko matubal, tinulong ko ito kayo wala ka.
friends who I've known for many years,
Ano ito kayo clear ito mo, kung kasap na muna sa akin.
friends who are faithful and true to me.
Nung ito kayo, kung riyawan din riyaw.
And if I were to ask them,
Yung kamu na talingi ba?
do they think I'm Satan's agent?
Ninuman niyo yung nang nagtawag tiyaw?
Or I asked my family,
Ito naman ang matubay.
what do you think they would say?
Kamu nung mga natutunan.
Of course not.
Siya nga sabi.
We trust you, we know you.
Ito kilay ko. Ito newtiki ko.
Elder Jeff Pippinger also has friends and family.
Pagkatawag ko na, o Elder Jeff, tutawag mo na ito kayo, tutawag mo matubay.
Can you imagine that his children would think that he's now being led by Satan?
Hindi ko na numaraw, na nanuman na lubian, ano yung kasaliti ko na tiyawag ko?
No,
Siya.
just wouldn't happen.
Yan sila nubaya.
In the English there's a phrase, it says blood is thicker than water.
Mas mapirtan niya, doon ito ko yung dukat ni Nra, baba ko rin may binaway.
Each of us must be very careful
Kaya naman yung doon, menda, hanggang karoon siya.
that we put all of these associations to one side
Nagtulog kayo, nabibiyak kayo mo, nabibiwal kayo mo, nandun na sana.
and we take our instructions from God.
May natulog naman yung hindi ko kasala, may buwan ka.
People here are nodding in acknowledgement.
Dari tiga ini survive hiyo tu mai. Non bandung dia.
But it's not so easy to do.
Ya sang ni karau ya.
If you have a good speaker
Kau kan itu nanti dah kau boleh binaka.
who is able to sway your emotions,
Kau yang ini kimiri kau kina non ya sana.
who is able to set arguments in a certain way,
Kau yang nabi kau yang dombal taka, yang tu mana yang dombal taka, yang nanti babu nanti mana lewa.
they can be very convincing.
Rawi kita sarwara.
I'm sure
Mambuta.
after a few presentations,
Ibu cibi kana nonton buli matongo.
if you're open-minded,
Ibu patol tu buka sama.
you'll probably say, Parminder's teaching the truth.
Ibu dari itu kuna mereka iko. Yang tak Parminder tu macam ni.
Sister Terry is faithful.
Sistem tiada ni marah mayal lagi.
Now, if Elder Jeff came,
Ibu kaya orang dia orang dia.
following presentation,
Tumano kana buli mo bikin tono na.
I'm sure your opinion would change.
Mambuta nanong panana no bisa.
When you're dealing with people who are speaking, who know their subject well,
Kaya iko rubio kaya tiko vet ke ira era daga buli tiko kakilapin ako iko na nanong tanga.
it's extremely easy to be led astray.
Kaya harus saya bikin na pinang rawi ni.
Each of us
Kaya ba kaya dito?
has to be extremely careful
Ito tanda rin sa maminaka.
about being led astray.
Ano nung na rawi ko harap lang.
Now, I'm not suggesting presenters do it in an evil, deliberate way,
Sa gitu cuma yang orang bukan hulu yang nang nunggu tu ya na rawi ko kina.
but you have to know
Yui ko mo kila.
that everyone has an agenda.
Tamatan nung dua itu nang itu.
I could say my agenda is the third angel's message. It all sounds nice.
Ayo orang ni kaya nang nunggu tu ya nang nunggu tu na katun yang nusi.
I have a certain perspective, a direction that I want to take you in.
O bila kata mo tumbir kaya nang tu nang munsala. Ano kung nang tu na katun yang nusi.
So I will talk about things that I want to mention.
Kau na tuku na nabika nga o bila kata yo mo tuku na mo siya.
Highlight issues that I want you to understand.
Bila kasama dere o bila kata mondo kila.
And the other piece of information I put to one side.
Doon was ni tuku tu na bita bati kitiki.
And you need to know, why am I putting those pieces to one side?
Iyi ko mo kila na na mo tuku ko so ni was tuku tu mo bita bati kitiki.
Am I hiding things from you?
O kung tak chumbang so na kami bikin ni.
Or is it unnecessary information?
Ko sa ni yang ba ka mo kila na mo no.
These are the issues, the questions that you need to ask yourself going this week.
Nodol mo torang na tuku bi ko na lo mo maka mo.
Now, I'm not sure if any of you are watching the material that's coming from Future for America.
O sa kila Belat game ini, usara betul betul kaya cumi, usara untuk presenter cumi na Future for America.
But if you are,
Kaya kau usara betul go.
then when you watch those presentations
Ini usara betul betul tuku tuku ya.
and they sound convincing,
Gira rong rawai bi ko.
you have to be very critical.
Dundon mo ganggar ni sakit.
And I'm suggesting that critical perspective that you have with them, you should have this week in these presentations as well.
Memang kan anu ganggar ni nung usara na presentation sa may FFA, memang katanakin na maga mo ganggar.
Don't take anything for granted.
Kuni toro ba mama na mika kaya nga nung maga mo.
It's very easy to lead people astray.
Rara usara na nung tumbir na tamaka tani may pinakamu.
So I want to give you an example of this.
Sudah bikin nonton na waktu tua.
How easy it is to do.
Kaya nakakarawa. Hindi ba balay ka po?
If we were to look at Acts 27,
Kaya plato na rin ang kulit na nakakita na kasi sa mga dito.
we're not even going to go to a verse.
Kung saan nila kami nontikin na.
You know that when Paul is going on his journey to Rome,
Nung nalakot ko Paula, nung nalakot ko i Roma,
the boat is confronted by a storm.
aso tabo ko yan doon na rangi ko po ano na iway. Lawag ako doon.
It's called Euroclidin.
Never na yan, Euroclidin.
So you're familiar with this story, I'm sure.
Umabot din doon sa klas mo nito maya.
Even if you weren't familiar with the prophetic understanding we currently have, most of us know the story.
Umabot na, kaya kanda kila mo nga nakan sa nung ulit ko na prophet niya sa bata na lawag ko ya. O kaya kung gawin niya na kila nito maya.
Now that storm that comes basically destroys that ship, cripples it.
Na bormor na nakita ela kumaya, baru sasar nga nawan.
They already knew the storm was coming. They already knew.
Sa kila itu yun, nila ko na bormor ya.
It happens every time that around that time of year.
E nanguna e nambag ya, no ya do tikina na wasok bormor ya nanguno ya.
And Paul already warned them not to continue their journey.
Sabi ba salti grabe ro pula mereka punya relak.
Everything so far is good
Bika kan sabi tu sabi na tu.
in this message that I'm giving to you.
Ele tu tu kata sarong lo tu.
Now that storm comes in two parts.
Na was lama beraya elak mai was mai bagarua.
It first blows from the south
Makai elak mai na saura.
and then blows from the east.
Wajinga elak mai na matu dah.
Most of us know that story well.
Bukan ni bukan bikin kita ni terma.
And what's interesting about that wind,
No.
that storm,
Nak kami bakul kita memang kena serba ya.
is that when you compare them relative to one another,
Nyoba beliukan dirau
the south wind is gentle and the east wind is severe.
na vani mana na leva malunu batu tu bate kibina vani mana na tu daki.
So we know two pieces of information.
To kila kaya role tu tu.
The order,
Na itu tu ba.
first south, then east.
Matai mana leva kena kaya rua mana na tu daki.
And then we know intensity,
Na gere da kena sa tara itu bukan kita na.
gentle and severe.
Malunu kau.
We're all okay with that so far.
Na sabu le tu mia. Kena muni mayo mai. Dah.
I'm going to give you a brief analysis of what Future for America are teaching currently. One issue, one point.
Kalau sulit kim do indon na pamatala. Lekar sar mata kan dalam tulisan apa pamatala itu fitur.
They're going to take this story,
Kalau turun terlalu
first the south, then the east,
matai lagi apa? Dan karena nanti lagi,
and they're going to do this.
sekarang kita kat turun apa?
The south wind
Lagi mana apa?
is a symbol
Apa tu buat lagi?
that points to the king of the south.
Kau indu situ kau mana tu mana apa?
And the east wind
Lagi mana tu lagi?
is a symbol,
Apa tak kara?
and this points to what?
Indu situ ni kau.
Islam.
Islam.
So, I said this is what Future for America currently teach.
Kau nak apa tak boleh cikgu future for America?
So do we.
Pakai tangan kita gitu.
At this level, we agree with this symbology, this analysis, this parable.
Bueno yang tinggal kau yang turun tu buat tikin.
So now it comes to the application of this.
Kau nak sana perlu kata mereka na tuba.
When would you start applying these symbols in our history?
Nangono ka bagi sana tibu buat orang kina na tuba kau ada nonton ngauna.
So we're going to hold that thought.
Tumaro tomat terpanan ya.
So I want to take Daniel 11, verse 40.
Oh lebih ikuti kita tu binatanya lagi nawas tinggal dua kina bahasa nama.
The first part of the verse.
Na mata ini was timbul kamu ya. Ini satu kira.
And at the time of the end, the king of the south shall push against him.
Ini bakal cuci ni ngauna na tui mana dia apa enam biling ni kau ya.
So Daniel 11, verse 40.
Daniel tinggal dua bahasa bulu.
The first part of the verse.
Mata ini was timbul ya.
The king of the south is going to push against him.
Tui mana dia apa enam biling ni kau ya.
Verse 40 is a complex verse.
Tinggal bahasa bulu, nanti kina bimbi.
If we have time,
Kita kata ngauna.
I want to discuss some of the new truths, new understanding that we have of this verse.
Kalau kena kata kono wasya, aisyah na itu membelata na kamu mau membelata na tinggal tahu ini bahasa ini.
But in this study, we're just going to go with our normal understanding of what this verse teaches. Verse 40, part A, that's how we normally talk about
Ano
it.
beliau ko dalam mereka tu nga nakan sa do kilaratu may na tinggal bahasa ng na matay ni waswasi.
The king of the south
Yung kasaw,
is going to push
nabili ni
against him.
tuy ito.
And if I were to ask you, who is the him?
Kung kau tarang wadi na o kaya,
What would you say?
kamu guna kaya?
The north.
Tuy may na tuy na, may na takalo.
And if I were to ask you,
Kung kau tarang ko,
because this is a pronoun, pronoun? It doesn't, a hymn doesn't tell you who it's talking about.
o kaya isang itu guna ko di.
How do you know it's the king of the north?
Kailangan lang itu may na takalo.
If I said she did this,
Kau tu pun na ilera ada kamu.
How do you know who I'm speaking to?
Ikaw nagtrabaho mo di utumo tu.
You have to go something previous.
Na valeu. Lapi mo.
I said, John did this thing,
John niya kamu ko.
then he went shopping.
Yo ko asang ila pali puli.
Who is the he?
Adi na ko ya.
John.
John.
You have to get the context. So, a noun
Ano boss ha?
identifies a person,
Itu siya dong tamara.
a place or an object,
Sentol mo nuwa, sentol ka.
and a pronoun is a substitute.
Oh, pronoun niya indora ka susumita.
So this is the noun,
Kembali mo na noun,
this is the substitute.
mo na kini susum.
In English, we don't keep on saying King of the North or John all the way through our sentences.
Ela mabala indo singo tung toklau na bingo na kini ngani indora tu mosa.
So, just a quick test question.
Dong na Karo,
How do you know he's the King of the North?
yung kalawala ba dito ni toklau?
Verse 39.
Tiki na imuri, tiki na to sa bukati mo.
One of my sisters said, go to the previous verse. And my other sister said, the previous verse is verse 39. So if you went to verse 39, it begins with, thus shall he do.
Tiki to sa bukati wa, tingu ena watu ngo na no nakakalaka.
So it's just another pronoun, he.
Bal ndo tala na pronoun bukati tiga na okwaya.
So that doesn't help.
Sa ni luka ya.
So what do you do?
Labi ko na.
You go up. Okay,
So
so
lagi tayo.
we can keep on going up.
To sa lagi nga.
So you tell me which verse we're going to end up with.
Tuloy biya uben tingna ba ba tuloy ya kina.
Which verse do we want to go to?
Tingna ba tuloy biya la kina.
Verse, we did verse 39.
Tingna to sa kadiwa.
If you're reading in the English,
Tingna tuloy nga kina ba ni.
it's really easy to see.
Era rosa nyoreta.
You go to 38, 37.
Tuloy walu tuloy bitu.
Which verse would you go to?
Uben tingna ba no ngale kina.
Good.
Naka.
So we have him, he, his, he. And then when you get to verse 36, it says the king.
Terus mo kawan satu gini na tuwi.
And we identify this king to be the king of the north.
Dasanggeran bago kan tak betul kila ni pada tuingo yang tuingo na to.
So all of that's correct.
Tangin don ya.
You're okay with that?
Don bikinnya. Nah.
So, this is 40 part A.
Pasang guru.
And what year do we say this is?
Gambar kita mo na tukay ng kwento.
The verse says it's the time of the end.
Tingol ka buka ang pagkatao tusi mo.
And what year do we identify this to be?
Na yung bagay na batubang yung kaya dapat.
1798. How do you know it's 1798?
Tinggal bitu dia semua.
Okay, but the Bible says time of the end.
Dan kalau tamu
Where do
tu
you get the date from?
ikut mimpi nanti misi.
History is not good. You can't go to a history book and say time of the end.
Sebenarnya lah pernah history book mengitu nak time of the end.
Right, say that. An external event. That will give you an event in a certain year,
Sebenarnya nak event na ya, wala kena yang bagi.
but it won't tell you it's the time of the end.
Ini saya kembali ke time of the end. Patau tu semua.
So the way we would normally do it
Karena do bekava,
is we'd go to inspiration,
então lá ela para ele prosai,
not the Bible,
saya mesti kalau
through prophecy.
ela prosai.
And Ellen White clearly tells us
Tu lebih kata profit ini mono,
that the time of the end is 1798.
baka mata tasara ni, baka tahu jusi mo na tinggal bitu dia semua.
So the point I wanted to bring forward,
Nak kau berkata mewarita ka?
when we say 1798
Nunda ka tinggal bitu dia semua kawalu,
equals the time of the end,
tu buat akin, baka tahu tu ni mo na.
how do we know this?
Kita kira apa ya?
Good. I'm going to call it a thus saith the Lord.
Orang tu pun engkau nak kait tu pun nak bos.
The reason why that's important
Namun yang bimbing ya,
is because one of the things that you have to fear
kalau dulu mau nak rena baka,
more than you've ever feared before
waktu tu waktu bimbing kalau dulu rena baka, bingung sawati,
is how you read.
dia kau wili baka.
How you read inspiration.
Dia kau wili ke baka mana yang diprosai.
Another way to say that
Dia kalau mau salah tu na ya,
is thus saith the Lord.
Gaba kana kalu.
Now we know this is vitally important
Kailan ko ay bimbisa
because our argument with the conference structure
Ano bimba bakit na tokanda ano tulebu
is about what issue? Thus saith the Lord.
kahit ko na kalu naka.
Because they agree with spirit prophecy and the Bible.
Pero ndo bakit na mosin kalu bakit na yalbo sai.
We might say that the church ignores the spirit of prophecy.
Daran kambel kaya na nalutulebu sa ni do bakit sa bali na prosai.
Some do,
So yo
but many don't.
lebu nggak sana.
Most people uphold inspiration.
Bunga tamata era turut na yang prosai.
So it's all about how you read.
Kakek ko itini nga willi ka bakata.
What we always need to remember
Don kami na do manuma.
is
Oh ya.
the reform line that we speak about
Na reform line na do vitalot na balibu.
over and over again.
Pagkabuga.
This concept
Itu mo
we didn't imagine or create.
kada sa akin ninda mulia.
It's taken from inspiration.
Ikaw may binayal ni prosay.
And I think sometimes we don't realize that.
Naman mo kada sa akin nindo kilaw ya.
Now, inspiration is going to give us a certain amount of information
Na boss ni kalaw na do sulebi kada lemu sa na I tugutu.
and then it stops.
Tao.
And what we then have to do
Kanta kedula ka ba?
is then begin to use rules and principles
Sa dumanta ka sa nalaw sa so tugutu ba?
to deepen and develop our understanding
Bakit dito buta ka na nang kilaka ng boss ni.
of how we read.
Ano no da. Unsa ang do.
But it begins really gently.
Ya tiku mo sa mamalu ba?
We get 1798 at the time of the end, just the plain reading.
Ano daw puto may natin kami dito sa kawawi may bata testimony na ano daw willi ka nga na mata ta nga.
So I'm going to put plain reading.
Plain reading ya no willi nga. Naman man tanong no willi.
And what I mean by that,
Ikaw mo nga nang ba kasama ya?
if we got someone from the world,
Yung katungkol naman doon kami grupo ba?
a university professor,
Kung ito may doon na lakad-lakad maka professor in doon university,
or a 12-year-old,
sa doon na magitin ka ruwa,
16-year-old teenager
doon na magitin ka wano,
from any country in the world,
may doon na napuno ay bisip mo ko,
any belief or no belief,
doon na mambauta siya tao mambauta,
and we ask them
nagitulungira,
to read, say, The Great Controversy. We ask them to read the book, The Great Controversy.
nagitulungira, nagkira may willi ka na wala ka na great controversy,
And we gave them these passages,
nagisulimira na bono tikira na di ba na nobo,
and we asked them,
nagitulungira,
when is the time of the end?
naman na ka na ibata ko mo.
According to this author,
Baka marka ko koy bolong-bolong.
they would all tell you 1798
Nang tulo kay ko, tinga bitu desun ko.
because it's a plain reading.
Mataya ay mata tunga bini bola.
You don't have to be a Christian.
Diksen itu isang niya mo na luto ba Kristo,
You don't have to pray.
sing niya sa mo na masu,
You don't have to be spiritually minded
sing niya sa mo na varnan ba kaya ro, o to kena,
to know.
mo ni kilaki na,
Ellen White says
itu na enjoy,
the time of the end is
na
1798.
mata just ni mo na tinga bitu desun ko.
Clear to read.
Sama mata tunga bini bola ya.
That's what plain reading
Yana
is.
kaya malimbal na mo sa bolito ka plain read.
So there's a difference between plain reading
Naman ito na bindui, may plain reading.
and this idea of something that needs to be spiritually discerned.
Tinabanan namin, hindi na kain ng doon naman na kilay ba kaya? Understand kilay ba kaya?
Jesus says what?
Yung Jesus Kristo,
Spiritual things,
kabagayaro,
spiritually discerned.
ang kilay nga.
Now, the question is, what is a spiritual thing?
Nagtanong na may kabagayaro.
So, is Sabbath a spiritual thing?
Singatambo ko na magkabagayaro?
I would say no,
Ano ito ko na yung siya?
because Sabbath is the seventh day,
Singatambo ko na kabituan ni singa.
and there are millions of calendars all over the world,
Doon na ka na liya mo ni kalenda itong bol, bisi mo nura.
and every single one,
Wala kaya mo,
whatever nation, wherever your belief is,
siya matintuza ba, siya nabambuta ka ba?
they all follow one pattern.
Doon ka nito buto wala murid.
What is that?
Gaba.
A 7-day cycle.
Bito na singa.
They might start on a different day.
Rintigo na doon na singa.
They may call the days a different name,
Wato ka na yan, bising mo na dundi na yan ba?
but they all follow the same cycle.
Yan, mamulit nga yan, tubo-tubo nga.
So,
Bito na singa.
the Sabbath itself
Kaya ba, singa tayo makati ko ya?
is not, you don't need spirituality to understand that.
Iku sing ngandra mo dol kabaya mo rin kilakin nas masingtam.
So if you read to the Gospels, you'll see that one of the fights that Jesus has with the conflict structure, perhaps one of the main fights that he has, is what subject? The Sabbath. Good. Is he arguing when to start and end Sabbath? No, because that's astronomy. When you look at the sun and the sunset, it's all about looking at the stars and the moon. It's all about mathematics. So when we talk about spiritual things that are spiritually discerned, there's a spirituality about the Sabbath that only spiritual people can understand. Spiritual people are God's people, us. So we have to distinguish between a plain reading that everyone can understand and what needs to be spiritually discerned. Now, there are many parables that Jesus gives. One of them is about hidden treasure. Familiar with that parable? There's this worker, he's plowing the field and he finds hidden treasure. So I want to suggest that hidden treasure is when you understand things spiritually. Spiritually discerned things are hidden treasure. If there's hidden treasure, what other treasure is there? Surface treasure. Something that's not hidden. Who are they not hidden to? Now, as Christians, we tend to think it's dealing with us. And I'm suggesting no. Surface treasure is for everybody. You go to a Hindu, a Muslim, an atheist, all of those three religions all know one thing, that adultery is bad. They didn't get it from the Bible. It's obvious it's bad. You don't need a commandment to know that. Because that is a treasure, a truth, that's on the surface. Everyone understands that. What we need to understand is the hidden treasure, or the spirituality about that. Now, as Christians, we think we're quite clever, and we say the hidden truth about adultery is not that you shouldn't touch someone. It's what? You can't think about them. I don't think that's hidden treasure or that's spirituality. Some of the older people here, and I'm sure most of the young ones, all know what love is. First love. Passion. When you met that person, and they're the only person you could ever think about. That special one. Did you need Jesus to tell you? Don't think about other men. You don't need him to tell you that. It's an emotion, it's a passion. You don't need anyone to tell you. It's when you get bored with your husband that you begin to look and think. So when you're truly in love,
Nyo sa domdom mo,
you don't need that.
ibig sabihin
You don't need that instruction. It's obvious.
ito may masal tiki.
All the world knows it's obvious. They all experience it just like we do.
Guru-guru tuga ko, ela ko motel nga.
So the spiritual nature of adultery is much deeper.
Malakabaya ni bimbutu ko ay tito sa.
We need to understand why we were given marriage.
Meron dikila, alam na anda ba mo kina.
Most of us understand
Pugabika dikila.
that it's to teach us about our relationship with God.
Bakta buli do bika da no biyo kanya ba kalu.
That's the spiritual thing that we need to understand about marriage and adultery.
Iya nakabaya meron dikila, membala ka ba mo.
Coming back to our story,
Lista bebe na no tutalo.
we've got the king of the south who's going to push or hurt or destroy the king of the north.
Na tuini ba sana ba mamota isembili ko na tuito ko.
We know it's in 1798
Na tuani tinga bitu desun ko walo ya.
because it's the thus saith the Lord.
Wala kaya sa tun ko mamata na bosin ko.
Anyone could read that and come to the same conclusion.
Do nga sa raw ni bili kaya ya ba mo na izaba ba.
We believe it,
Kaya ba mota?
but an atheist would say, I don't believe that.
Do eta wa mota?
It's the false book.
Ya da sima mota no ba da lay wala las.
But that's not what we're asking them.
But sa ni ko ya ka toro mo.
We're just asking to read what it means.
Nda toro ma bira mer bili kana kaya na da betu na.
I want us to see the difference.
Ko ka tikento mi toro da kan bintu.
We can read something
Da ni bili kan do ka
and know what it says,
da ni kila ka tu na.
but that doesn't mean we have to believe that it's the truth.
Sa itu punya na ba mota sa ni ko ma kandi.
There's a distinction between them.
Endo non dundu yetu ya.
We read
Da bili ka
and we believe.
kaya da ba mota.
An atheist would read,
Do ta wa mota na bili ka.
they would say that's what she says,
Era tu na ko da ka tu na ko ya.
but otherwise it's a false prophet.
Ela jo eta para profita ba
We
bilas.
don't believe that.
Kita sangat ba mota.
It doesn't make any sense.
Do tu raya.
So that's the distinction between a plain reading
Yang dundu ni plain reading
and having a faith.
kena no ba mota ka.
I want to suggest you don't need faith for plain reading.
Iksi ngandre mana ba mota ni ko uli ka tu ba mata ko.
Thou shalt not steal.
Kaku din do muta.
Simple to understand.
Rara on de la.
You don't need faith
Iksi tu ngandre mana ba mota.
to accept that.
Mo de tingo ma.
Because atheists don't have faith and they accept it.
Biar da tahu ba mota, era sa ni tu na ba mota, era tahu na ba mota, sintu na ba mota, era sa ni tingo ma. Era tingo ma.
I wanted to introduce this concept here at the beginning because it's important.
Kung mo wase bikin tu na bananan mo batang ko yung bindi.
It's not part of our study.
Sa ni tikin ng tubo.
The king of the south,
Tu ni dia ba?
who is that?
Odi ko ya.
Before you answer,
Si Bernesto Soma,
first who is the king of the north?
matay odi na tu ito na.
Who do you say this is?
Odi ko kanya ko ya.
Papacy.
Papacy na.
So the papacy, is the papacy a government, a
Papacy.
state, or a church?
O ko na matin tu siya ko yung donal luto.
Okay, so some people are going to say it's both.
So na tu na rorua.
I want to suggest,
O tu na
when you look at it prophetically,
ni reza menasan maka na prophesy
that it's not.
esya.
It's a false church.
O ko donal luto lasu.
If I were to say the papacy was antichrist,
Kaya kau tu na yung papacy o ko ya donal Kristo ba lasu.
you hopefully would agree with that,
Donal ni do ba?
which means it's the opposite of Christ. Anti means opposite or against.
Kaya mala ko ya na siya nga Yesus o ko siya nga Yesus Kristo ko na kaya bimbasay.
Christ,
Yesu
was he church or state?
Kristo ko ya lotu siya ko madansi.
Church.
Ko ya lotu.
He says, I have nothing to do with the governments here on earth.
Tuno ko ya na ko sa sindora ka mo da ka kaya matin tumboy bro.
So, I'm going to say this is church.
Lotu ko na tanga ni papacy o ko na lotu.
I'll give you one more piece of evidence.
Do tala na kaya mandin gina.
Now, if we were to turn to this chapter here,
Kung kano mo lamay ke chat mo.
this is Revelation, this one here, this one here. Can you read it?
Magkala kinawasitin ka ruwa.
This is Revelation 12. It looks like Revelation 17, that's why we've said.
Kaya nila iba ka na magkala kinawasitin ka dito.
So, just to give you an idea,
Sila yung mga sama.
this is Daniel,
Kulitan niya kaya.
chapter 7.
Kinawasi yung bitu.
This is Daniel chapter 8.
Kanya kinawasi walu.
This is
Yeah.
Revelation.
Kaya boleh waktu ka.
This also is Revelation here.
Waktu ka na ako to ra.
Revelation 12,
Waktu ka tinggal ruwa.
Revelation 13,
Ka tinggal tolu.
Revelation, this is 17, not 14.
Ka tinggal bitu.
Okay? So it's 12, 13,
Tinggal
17.
ruwa tinggal tolu tinggal bitu.
The reason why people say this is 17,
Namun nila boleh kating tinggal bitu ada kaya.
because there's a beast
Kalau manu
with 7 heads
bitu dulu.
and 10 horns.
Tim na nila.
But this is chapter 12.
Kaya nawasi tinggal ruwa.
If you look at this one, it's the
Ito
same.
tutu mata.
7 heads, 10 horns. And this one is also the same. I know it's a little bit low. 7 heads,
Bitu dulu na.
10 horns.
Tinggal na naman yun.
All 3 chapters
Tulu nawasi ko.
are dealing with the same subject,
Yung para bos na ulo tanga tutu mata.
the same beast,
Manu mata.
but it looks different.
Yan dindu ni kan nila.
Now there are a number of differences between these chapters,
Bileti ko nang dindu na tulu nawasi mo.
but the big difference
Dindu ile bulu dua.
is in this one,
Kono wasi tinggal ruwa lagi.
all you see is a beast,
Kan ay ko rin doon naman.
nothing else.
Siyang tan ko ka.
And this one you see,
Kaya kedua,
just a beast.
manu nga.
What do you see in chapter 17?
Laban ko rin na wasi tinggal bitu.
You see a woman and a beast.
Doon naman rama, kaya naman.
This beast in chapter 17,
Naman mo nang tinggal bitu.
is it the same one as this one?
Ito tuwa tinggal wasi tinggal tuh.
Yes.
Iyo.
Is it the same one as this
Yung
one?
kedua,
Yes.
iyo.
I'm going to say it's yes.
Itu na iyo.
Each chapter teaches us something different.
Yan dindu wasi mata muli dan bila na kan dindu.
They look different.
Rera dindu
That's why you say, yes, they're not the same.
Yana bunu yung pun kena iyo asing itu tuh mata.
The application
Yana kan tetap
is certainly different,
dindu yang tengah.
but the original is the same.
Yana kan dina itu tuh mata.
So we can say it simply.
Kena rara.
Satan,
Kaya borok,
that devil.
setan,
Satan, Satan, Satan.
setan.
Same thing.
Tuh mata.
We could say this is Satan,
Enggak tahu nggak tiap.
Satan's kingdom.
Nono mati itu tiap.
But each story teaches you something different,
Ya nabi tahu kalau kau mata muli nol kan dindu.
depending on the time period.
Waktu tekin nangu nang bulu dunia.
So that's why they all look different. This is a red dragon,
Ada muli dindu kina.
this is a leopard,
Damu nandaganya lepati.
and this is just a scarlet beast.
Waktu kecil kia na man puluh.
And they're the same.
Iya, itu mata.
The difference is, in this story,
Dindu nggak?
you see this woman.
Nawas kita bitu berarti yang terlalu.
So I want to ask you a question.
Nanti terlalu taruh.
If you see the woman in Revelation 17,
Dikorek nama ramai, nama pasti lagi nawas tingkat bitu.
is the woman here in Revelation
Nama
13?
ramai tiko nawas tingkat tol.
And is she here in Revelation
Nama ramai tiko
12?
nawas tingkat ruang.
Yes, she's there,
Iya, tiko kina apa ya?
but you can't see her.
Iya, bisa non rawan ini.
So what we can do
Katulin nak kawa,
is proof text.
tuh banding yang tak ada
We're not proof text in a word,
Ini benar benar tabu.
we're proof text in a story.
Tuh banding yang tak ada taruh.
So we've got Revelation 17
Saat itu kalau waktu lagi nawas tingkat bitu,
is the same as Revelation 13,
tuh waktu kita waktu lagi nawas tingkat tolu,
is the same as Revelation 12.
waktu kita nawas tingkat ruang.
And Revelation 17, what do you have?
Macam tingkat bitu tapi kita bikin apa?
A beast and a woman.
Manu kena ilawa,
And in 13,
tingkat tolu,
you have a beast,
manu
but there's a woman,
yang tuan ilawa tu.
but you can't see
Ini
her.
kesian siapa itu.
And it's the same.
Bukan kita nawas tingkat ruang.
So I'm not going to prove that. I'm just going to state it as the fact.
Kalau siang ni saya bukan dia tak kayak orang bitu cuma tengah bukan cuma.
So now if I were to ask you,
Ingkon sampai kita kalau turun niko,
Revelation 17,
kita tingkat bitu,
who is that woman
pasti naik ilawa ya.
that's scarlet coloured?
Kalau tiup nama berkumpul ya.
Verse 5
Tinggal lima,
says she's the mother of harlots.
kau nak tina random itu kau ni.
We'll read the verse.
Tuh kira kira betul itu tinggal.
Perfect, read the first one.
Kini 5 kabango asawalai enendena na yadana wakaungo. Sasenga ni kilai o papiloni na kaleu atinanda ng daw tangani kina vika sisila kibulu.
She's got a cup that's full of blood.
Dorong bilo tikinan
She's
ras.
got a title, Mystery Babylon,
Oleh tiba na dorong docu na yadana
the mother of harlots.
tinanda na daw tangani.
So, without doing a study on this,
Siang itu mereka betul stay di
this is a
bukang.
symbol of a church.
Ngo mata karkar kan doni songo.
And the church is
Ena lutu yaudi.
the papacy.
Romo kan.
So, this is the papacy. What's the beast?
Kasi pepe sih nama-nama ya. Odi nama-nama.
So, my sister's going to say state, but I'm going to put church here, and I'm going to put state here.
Manu-manu yang dorong mati itu.
So, if this is the papacy, which is that church, what state is this?
Cuma dorong mati itu.
Good. Kings. Which
Tujuh.
verse would we go to for that? We stay in the chapter. We stay in chapter
Kalau
17.
tidak mana bakal akan wasting ke bitu, tiga apa ya?
Which verse would we go to? Good.
Tiga
It says what?
Dapat tu.
The king said.
Sabi itu pun kayak irna tujuh ke buru.
So this is the kings.
Malah tujuh ya.
So when we come back to this story here,
Tulis também tal notanya lagi kedua.
this is the papacy,
Ya na berapa bakal lutu?
it's a church,
Quando não lutu,
and it's going to receive this deadly wound.
ena mau apa ya?
It's going to be killed. Who kills the church?
Odei vai mati na lutu.
King of the South.
Tujuh mina dela.
And someone said who it was?
Dua tu nama dia.
France.
Franci.
Good. So it's
No.
state,
Kembali kau na mati tu,
and it's France.
kau ya Franci.
One of these kings here.
Dua biar na tujuh.
There's kings in the plural, and one of them was France.
Dua biar na Franci.
We all okay with that?
Kemudian satu tu dua tiga.
Everything that I've taught,
Jika kita sahabat tembilen go,
Future for America would agree with.
Future for America yang dua batu lagi.
So now I want to ask you a question.
Go na terang bikin go na taruh.
France is the king of in the south. France is the king of the south, yes? Says it here.
Franci kau na tujuh mina dela iyo.
When did France become the king of the south?
Muna gaba satu itu na dela o Franci.
So as soon as I say when,
Kaya muna gaba.
we're now going to have a timeline.
Go tu sangat runtang tu na tayo man bakas kamu ni
What
sebenarnya.
date is this?
Singa ba ya? Muna ba ya?
Good. 1798.
Laka.
Here.
Tinggal bikin tu semua kawalu.
Time of the end.
Patut kau cuma nak tahu tu semua na.
And France
Franci
is here.
tujuh na ya.
And what is it?
Tahu apa?
The king of the south.
Kau na tujuh mina dela.
So we're going to go back into
Kau
history.
na lesu tali muri.
You tell me, when does France become the king of the south?
Dotu na mai, muna gaba satu ku tujuh na dela o Franci.
Before you answer,
Sebenarnya semua na taruh ya.
let's go really, really far back.
Tu lesu sana pakai ya tali muri balik lagi.
And we're going to go to Daniel chapter 8.
Tengah lah tanya kena wasih walu.
Which verse?
Tino boleh tahu tak?
Daniel chapter 8. No, we're not going to go to verse 13 and 14. What's our subject?
Zaman untuk ulu tak invita lo tu semua tahu.
King of the south. So which verse do we want to go to? Read Daniel chapter 8.
Daniel 8, Daniel 1.
Chapter. Someone shout out.
Ketua komite kira-kira.
5 is a bit early.
5 se
13 is a bit late.
sampai rasa lewat.
Good. What word did you pick up?
Bosan apa fikir kami ya?
South. You picked up the south. What did we just do?
Dapat tu kita kawan?
Proof text.
Proof text na tanah.
We proof text and we've got the south.
Tu sa proof text tu sa ngere di south.
The south is a country, and the country is run by a monarchy or a patriarch or a king.
Leva aku yang tu nama itu, yang bilu bikin tu tu.
You okay with that?
Santumnya,
So here
Malaysia,
we're in Daniel 8,
tu juga nak tanya lagi masih
verse
waris.
9.
Tidak dia.
And what did it say?
Zamaikan.
It says there's this little horn that rises up and it does what? Good.
Dona lagi lain, tu lagi mai,
the east,
Kasaya may liusan.
the glorious land,
May nanatid lagi.
and the south.
Bono matalaw kinagyan.
So now we need to know a little bit about our history.
Iba to sa kirawan linggo na kapika sa alodi.
And the east, what
Natid
is
lagi.
this east?
O di min natid lagi.
Okay, so this is not Islam.
Sa ni Islam Musliman mo.
So I want to just pause here.
Betaw linggo lagi.
Because someone said Islam,
Pag Indo sa kama ni Musliman.
you can see why they've done that. It's very logical.
Kilala lang muna na kaw kinapaya.
So what did we just say here?
Magbilang to sa kanan nila.
East is Islam.
East Musliman.
We'll just leave the will. The east is Islam. So the people of the east are the people of Islam.
Kembali itu macam natid lagi ya to Musliman.
So as soon as we go to east,
Untuk lagi na East natid lagi.
automatically you'd say, must be Islam.
Maksud itu sa kasar kanyo to Islam.
So what this is showing us
Pagka weekend to
is that we have rules.
itu nalalaw ng muria.
Proof texting is one of them.
Proof texting do wira.
But it's not the only one.
Siya nga ko lang ngayon alam.
We also need to understand context.
Kita menda kilata nga na level ni bola.
We can't just think about one symbol
Tulo sing ni reda nga mendo nga ni bata karkar.
always meaning the same thing.
Ko tuno bat nga na songo ni itu dua.
So if we were to do a plain reading,
Kan dala ka mendo nga na bili bola tu nga baka bobon dia.
which is difficult
Pendere
because it's all symbols,
bagnira bata karkar kita nga no.
instead of calling it plain reading,
Menonton bato kami bobon dia.
what we'll now do
Katuno ta kama.
is talk me to earlier verses.
So bikin tu aku tikin tulis tali binabi tikin yu. Exactly.
Verse 3.
Tikin tulu.
There was
Sip tangan.
so verse 3 is the ram.
Dona sip tangan ni.
Someone tell me who the ram is.
Doma tu mayo di na sip tangan ya. Matin tu lah.
America. So we'll stop there.
Amerika.
So my sister said America, and which is good, which is right.
Indonu.
But what did they call?
Tapi list tali mu.
Good. So let's do historical reading.
Dala kau mana tali mu list tali mu.
Good. So historically, who is the ram?
Bingung na sa mo ni na sip tangan.
Which verse? It says the ram is made of Persia.
Sip tangan ni ya umiti kipis.
So what we're doing is reading the chapter historically.
Kita sa kan sa kam tu mo sa umili gitu na wasi mo nakasaya mo.
So we have a ram,
Kalau tu sip tangan ni.
which is made of Persia.
Kalau umiti kipis ya.
Then we're going to skip a few verses down,
Ulang je balik sa talat kinira.
and you know where I'm going to go?
Itu orang belum nolak kina.
Verse 5.
Kina 5.
There's a goat.
Itu na me.
Who's the goat?
Ang na me.
Greece. Which verse?
Tina ka.
Excellent.
Nabalik.
So we've got ram and we've got goat. This is Greece.
Sip tangani me o kirisyon.
So
Waya.
this is historical reading.
Paling ko tuloy dali sa nakasaya do rimon sa.
So when we come to the next power,
Tulo ko bila kung ko tarawa.
it's shown here
Matin tu tarawa tuloy
by this
ko.
little horn,
Yan iliw-iliw ko.
which looks quite big,
Kali mo to kan
because it
mo.
grows exceedingly great.
Mandi ko tumbuti ko na iliw ko.
Historically, who's that horn?
Nabi mo na sa audio di na iliw ya.
It's not Greece, because Greece is the goat. Good, Rome.
Nabalik. Roma.
And we're going to be more specific and say pagan Rome.
Roma ka pekan.
Okay, so this is talking about pagan Rome.
Kembali tawag di Roma ka pekan di.
Chapter 8, verse 9 is pagan Rome.
Kembali waso walu tigine di tanya lah.
And what's pagan Rome going to do?
Zaman kita ka Roma ka pekan.
It's going to destroy what?
Ang baru sa ide.
The east is glorious land and the south.
Nanti lagi penuh mata lau kina zema.
So, what year is this?
Yang bagi kita membeku.
There are various numbers that we could come up with.
Bunga nama dalam lama kina. Yang bagi.
We could say,
Dalam kaya.
say if we looked up here, perhaps we could go to say 158.
Tahun dah kaya 250 kawan.
It says that the Jews have a deal with the Romans.
Nira ada ka bundol na bibil ka tina cium at kihir na Roma.
So it's about 150 years before Christ's birth.
Kembali sember semua 250 kawan naman isu segala isu.
So that's where we would be when you go from the goat to the little horn.
Kaya na puno tulad tikin na kakatong lang manane kina iliw.
That's not the precise date.
Sa kanya ko mag-indom niya.
You could go to a battle
Ikaw rin lang ito rin balu.
between Alexander the Great and the Persian king.
Ken Romailio o Alexander matikin doon na tuwing na Persia.
But just to give a rough idea,
Meron ito na ito na una natin kugin na.
150, 160 years before Christ is born.
Kung 150 to 160 years sebenarnya na may sulit si Kristo.
Where does Islam come into the story?
Namun na mga uturo kita dito ang mga tamu Musliman.
You go all the way down here,
Misalnya saya,
you go from BC to AD,
ikaw lang kami nagbisi mbara kinaana,
and then we're down here.
laksana kami na oras sa bawang.
The rise of Islam.
Dulu itu may umaman di sana, Musliman.
So this is 700 and nearly 800 years after this.
Kembali mo kaya wala kiniwala na namba kiniwala ya.
So when you see contextually,
Ni ko willi ka nangaral tu ko.
you know that this verse
Ikaw ang tingol tambia,
can't be Islam.
sinda ni Musliman.
It has to be something else.
Ito to mendo tayo matin.
We could prove that if we wanted to,
Turun ban ginin kata kata binakata.
but we're not going to.
Ito na siya ang takaba.
Because after this little horn
Uus na iyo ngayon ko,
comes another power.
nalakal mo ito talaga ko.
Who's that other power?
Okay na ko ya.
Papal Rome.
Roma makaluto.
Good. And in verse 12,
Na tinatin ka nuwa,
Papal Rome
Roma makaluto.
is being discussed here,
Sa wasi ito na tinatin ka ko.
and I'm going to paraphrase.
Ano kata mo na masya
It says, just the first part, and the host was given. You read that?
Okay. First part of verse 12.
Yeah,
Asa bakan ginin taga ko po ya na nona was ni betu rui.
that's it. I'm going to paraphrase that and say 8 verse 12.
Ia na ibaba koso sa soli mataya ni ke na so ni wisinga ena hukuni talinene.
All that means is that the papacy is going to be given an army. That's what that host is, army.
Okay, na ibaba koso. Yang bale ndo na mati balu na soli bidi, soli wa.
It's given its army at the beginning,
Soli wa ndo na mati balu mani ke ni tigi bu.
not at the end.
Sa ni kana sa ni no ni dabla.
You okay with that?
Soli mure roya.
We read here in Revelation 17,
To wili ke na makta na wasi tin kabitu.
the cup is full of blood.
Na mbino ya sasini tu kinandra.
That's slaughter or martyrdom.
Na biba mati ya zakabo ko na ndale no no na.
Who does all the killing?
Okay, zakabo na biba mati ko.
The army. The army does all the killing. That's what armies do.
Mati ba, vera kara kabla mati ba.
This is at the end of the papacy.
Ngona kena ida ba ba.
So he must have been given the army at the beginning.
Jambal no mati ba ni suli mani ke ni tigi tigi bu.
So verse 12
Kira tinggal gua,
is at the beginning of the papacy.
yang tigi bu ni Roma lotu.
So if we were to come back to these numbers,
Kita tulis kan meke,
and we were to look at the beginning of the papacy,
tulis na tigi tigi bu ni Roma lotu.
we could go to here.
Kita lakukan 5 sebulan,
508,
5 sebulan.
100 years before Islam.
Sebulan don baki, wala don baki sebenarnya dulu Musliman.
So in verse 12
Kira tinggal gua,
is around 100 years before Islam.
tiga main don baki sebenarnya Musliman.
You know that verse 9 is even before that.
Iko kila ni tinggal liwa sebenarnya mana ngawaya.
So it can't be Islam.
Coba singgah di Islam.
Islam doesn't even exist.
Sebenarnya mana ni saya bula, saya lori buru-buru ngomong Musliman.
Are we okay with that?
Terus hari itu rawaya.
So how would we know?
Kenapa bangsa meninggal kila?
What you have to do,
Lalu kita kau.
remember what we did here?
Katu tak kau ikan?
What did we say here?
Lalu tu kau ikan?
Equals.
Tu ada pun. Tinggal itu.
So I would say
Lalu kaya?
Daniel 2
Tadi lagi nawasi dua.
equals.
Tu apa?
Good. We'll do 7, 8, and then we could do 11.
Nah, tanya tinggal dua. Tu buat kita.
Always the same story.
Lalu diwa tinggal dua. Tu buat tu ada tahu.
Okay? So,
Terus.
in Daniel 8, the story is this.
Tanya lagi nawasi wal. Tahu no.
Medo Persia comes,
Nanti kita bisa nak main.
and who did it destroy?
Okay, gimana saya lihat apa?
Babylon.
Babylon.
It doesn't tell you in the chapter.
Saya itu lebih nawas ni bola ya.
So that's missing in chapter 8.
Coba lihat itu lebih nawas ni bola ya.
The goat does what?
Dapat tak pernah sip tengah ni?
Destroys the ram.
Baru sana sip tengah.
Then the little horn,
Nah ini lebih lagi.
who is pagan Rome,
Kau orang bawa ke peka ni.
let's not stay in Daniel 8.
Gunting nga tanya kina wasi
Let's
walu.
go to Daniel 2.
Salah ko tanya kina wasi ruwa.
Pagan Rome. Here it is.
Roma baka.
Who did pagan Rome destroy?
Odi baru sa pekan.
Greece.
Greece.
Straight there.
Tu sa tinggal.
Go to Daniel 7.
Tanya kina wasi bitu.
Here's Greece.
Greece ngo.
What happens to Greece?
Tawa tu Greece.
Gets destroyed by whom?
Baru sa bindi.
Here it is. This iron beast stamps on everything.
Roma baka pekan.
Destroys Greece.
Baru sa Greece.
So let me ask you a question.
Tolong mingon taruh.
Daniel chapter 8 verse 9.
Daniel 8:9 tanya walu diwa.
All of this is what?
Kakek ngo. Turun waga yang penting ngo lah. Ini.
Pagan Rome.
Pagan Rome is the horn,
Gendro bukan na liu.
and the horn is going to wax great
Wana tumbu lagi mo liu.
against all of this.
Yang nasa tulung ko.
So it's going to destroy all of this.
Yang baru saat nasa tulung ko.
What must all of this be?
Lawan tu nasa tulung ko.
Symbol of what?
Mata kakak tidak.
Let's go to Daniel 2.
Kalau tanya dia masih rumah.
Pagan Rome is going to destroy Greece. The iron beast stamps on Daniel 8.
Mereka juga Roma na baru saya.
The little horn does what?
Nilai dapat kamu.
Destroys Greece.
Greece.
So all of this is Greece.
Umum butuh satu rawa. Ya, kita tul ya Greece. Atau pegang Roma nilai na baru saya itu.
We all agree with this.
Tuhan tu baru kita tul ko juga. Lagi.
Greece,
Greece.
pagan Rome.
Roma baka pekani.
Daniel 7 must be the same.
Dan dia kena masih wit untuk minta tutup pada telinga.
Chapter 8 must be
Tutup pada telinga.
the same thing. So what we've seen is that Greece is now given by a different symbol.
Coba tu sare ni kenyo Greece ando tenda na bata kakare parti ni Greece.
Okay?
Tu sare tu rawa. Tu sare murera.
What country is the south?
Matim tu da ba ko tu ano dia.
Egypt. Good.
Egypta.
This is historical, remember?
Kasado uti ko tu no.
Is that literally Egypt on the North African coast or something else?
Egyptan din ya?
Literally Egypt.
Egyptan din sa
So is Egypt literally, what is it spiritually or
Ila
symbolically?
macam ni balik Egypta apa kaya apa ko.
Greece. It's Greece.
Oh Greece.
Because we think Greece is literal. But this is a symbol of Greece.
Egypta bata kakara ki Greece.
Symbol of Greece. So, what is the east?
Odi na tu dati.
Syria.
Good. Syria.
Naka.
Literally.
Yang kaya
And
din na.
symbolically, Greece. Good.
Greece.
And then the glorious
Glorious
land.
land. Ano matalaw?
So we're going to say the glorious land is Israel, aren't we? That's what we're going to
Nalaka
say.
kaya yung Syria?
And it is.
Naka.
That's true.
Yun doon na.
But I want to show us a bit of geography.
Ang biwat ka ba libikin doon naka? Ito ba?
This is the Mediterranean coast.
Yan Mediterranean coast.
This is the Mediterranean. This is the coast. It comes round like this. Egypt is here in the south.
Ito ko sa raya o Egypta.
What's here?
Dapat juga lagi.
Syria.
Good.
Syria tabi lagi.
Yeah, Syria. Egypt. Babylon is over here. So you've got Syria and Egypt.
Syria
And what's in the middle?
Lihat juga London.
Israel.
Israel.
Glorious land.
Glorious land.
Now, the glorious land covered a lot of territory.
Libu na bono ay kawatakan ng glorious land.
Because of the infidelity of God's people, they didn't take all the territory that they were supposed to.
Berarti na nomor lang nga tempat ni kalu, harus diturun kita bono asul dulu.
What was to be the border up here?
Zama na bori lagi. Yang lali lagi.
Go back all the way to the writings of Moses, when he said you're supposed to capture all of this.
Juga dalu stala na boro Moses. Kono mo nino turo kere.
On this side it was the coast. On this side it was Arabian Desert, we'll go with the Arabian Desert.
Dengan sana kedua ya.
Not the River Jordan because they take territory on the other side of the River Jordan. And on this side it's the River Euphrates.
Filipisi lagi.
Babylon.
And Babylon's over here, but it's the River Euphrates. And on this side, it's the Sinai Peninsula. So it looks something like this. This is the land that we're supposed to take. So there's a place in this area called Coal Syria.
Coal Syria.
And Coal Syria, over the years, has changed location. But I want to put it here in the middle. It's this area that's in between this one and this one. So is everybody okay so far? Let's summarize. We've got the king of the south and the king of the north. France is the king of the south. France is not Egypt. So we go back to the historical, the literal. And we're in Daniel 8. We've got Medo Persia, Greece, pagan Rome. Pagan Rome looks like a horn. Greece looks like a goat. And what else does Greece look like? East, glorious land, and the south. These are symbols of the same power. We get that from Daniel 2. Daniel 7. Line upon line, overlaying them. We've got Syria and Egypt and the land in between. Now, if we were to go to the first part of Daniel 11, what's this kingdom called? King of the south. And what's this one called? Good. Called the king of the north. This is the Ptolemies. And this is the Seleucid Empire. So we're familiar with those names. So this verse is showing how Rome is going to destroy this power, and this one. And once it destroys this one, king of the south, Cleopatra, what happens to Rome, pagan Rome? It begins to rule. It begins to rule supremely. With no one standing in opposition to it. And we could go to Daniel 11, verse 24. The last part of the verse, I'm going to paraphrase. It says that Rome will rule for a time. How long is a time? Good. 360 years. What date is this? Where the little horn comes and destroys Egypt. This is 31 BC. And what battle is it? Good, the Battle of Actium. So pagan Rome is going to take down 3 enemies, 3 territories. But it's only one, really. Greece. It's going to be symbolized by 3. The last one happens in 31 BC. So that would be 31. If you add 360, you get to what year? You get to 330 AD. So people say 231 because they put this, they forgot to put their year 0.
Nah, well, what would the cycle are going to do 331, eh?
330 is when pagan Rome moves from Rome to Constantinople. So we're familiar with that. So
Roma,
in this history, what happened to the king of the south? Where was the king of the south? They got killed here. Got killed in 31 BC. What happened to the king of the south for 360 years? Dead. Good. It's dead. So the question is, my sister said, the king of the south died here. And what do we know by here? We know it's alive for sure. So my sister wants to say it stood up. That's a nice way to say it. So it died here and it's alive here. What must have happened somewhere? Must have resurrected. So the question is, when did it resurrect? So that's the question. So I want to ask you a story. I want to ask you a question. We'll come back to this history, 508, 538. And this is Daniel 12. And this is the number of passages we'll find 538. We read Daniel 8 verse 12. An army is going to be given to the papacy. Now the story is complex, so we're going to make it really simple. This support that the papacy will receive will come in two parts. Two empires. Two people. One of them is the Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople. We're okay with that? By the time you get into this history, 533, 538, this is Justinian. He's going to give support to the papacy. We okay with that? This is Eastern Rome. Turkey. Constantinople. They're going to help and support and take care of the papacy. Because they're what? They're something called Rome. The army of Rome. Or the army of the papacy. Is that the only army that the papacy has? No. So it has some help in the west. And who's the first person to help them? Which country? Not America. France. Good. This is even before 508. We go back to 496 even. Clovis. The king of the Franks. So we've got 490 here, it's a little bit after this. Clovis is going to change his religion and become Catholic. And what type is he going to be given? The son of the papacy, someone said? Yes, the first son. They recognize him as being the first ally that they have. So France becomes the first person to begin to support. They're involved here in 508. There's a battle that occurs. And France is involved in that.
France tena ai tik ni balu ya.
So France helps the papacy
Kembali France buke people room
to come to power.
merawa na silwa na kukuwa.
When does the papacy come to power?
Ngono ga bati buki na kukuwa pepe.
538.
Lima toluan.
Good.
Nak.
If we went to Daniel 7,
Jika tu ngole na tanya lagi na masih bitu.
there's Daniel 7.
Ngo.
How many horns are there here?
Bitu kau ni liu tu ya.
10.
Tini.
There's 10 here. By the time you get to here, how many horns are there?
Sabi tangan ni liu tu ya.
These are now 7.
Sabi tu.
So 3 horns are gone.
Tolu saya ni.
Just like 3 were gone here.
Lepas kan satu lo yang ikan history.
So once the 3 have gone,
Ngono saya ni kena tolu.
what happens?
Apa ya?
The papacy begins to rule.
Saat tu bilu tak sana orang bakal.
So we had 360,
Tolong orang sana bunuh bagi orang rumah bapak kami.
and then we've got 538,
Kalau dia fikir itu, ilmu ya.
and we've got 1260.
Dua orang sana punya.
1 time,
Dua orang
3.5 times.
tolu lima mana orang.
So, at the beginning,
Ada kena tiga.
who's the chief ally for the papacy?
Orang yang nana matin tu tiada runtuh bagi kita.
France.
Francis.
And who's the chief enemy at the end?
Orang yang matin tu bini lagi tu dua salida.
France.
Francis tadi.
Who's the enemy of the king of the north?
Orang yang kena dia merah tu terlalu.
The king of the north. The king of the south.
Tu ni dia.
The country is France, but we've gone to symbols now. King of the
Matin tu
north,
orang Francis.
king of the south. So, the king of the south is the enemy.
Cuma tu ini dia bukan nama merah.
So, when did France become the king of the south?
Ngono gawa, o Francis sama itu ni dia bukan. Ngono gawa.
538?
58.
Okay, so my sister says France was the king of the south here.
Tu nasi saya, ni o Francis mai tu ni dia bukan ada 58.
So let's go through this logic.
Tu muria mata mama long.
It's already getting nervous.
Kau pun ni, ni lain.
The king of the south, and the
Tu ni
king
dia
of the
bukan.
north, what do they always do?
Dapat tu kamera.
Always fight.
Orang tu bibul buluti.
In 538,
Lima tu luar.
what's France doing with the papacy?
Kalau kau tengok Francis, apa tu people.
Friends. They're helping.
Dia bukan.
So can France be the king of the south in 538?
Orang tu tengok asal Francis.
No.
Siapa?
What we need to do is find a history here
Kembali tu bangkara, itu nunggu na.
when France
Francis.
started to fight against the papacy.
Sati bukan memboluti king of people Roman.
And so it's a bit before
Sekarang
1798.
balik lagi 1798.
We'll keep it simple.
Tu boleh sarap barang.
We're going to call it a revolution,
Tuna bata lah situ kau toka itu lah.
where you're going to fight against the king,
Walau tuna tui,
because the king loves who?
zaman Roman tu.
No, he doesn't love the queen. If he did, it would be good. Who does the king love? Who does he worship?
Tapi lu tu ada tui.
Papacy.
Papacy.
So they're going to make a revolution against the king
Balang lu bata mau boluti tu na tui.
and against the
Okay.
papacy, the person that he worships.
Tamat kau lu tu kena boluti.
So it's the revolution,
Sebab tu na people boluti.
is the time period
Dona ngona
where France
Francis.
becomes the king of the south.
Ngona sana tinggal kena kau kau toka ina tui ni dia.
Right at the very end.
Ela kena uti.
So if France was the king of the south here,
Kau Francis satu ni dia baca.
what was France here?
Waktu yang Francis mul. Favorite.
So let's hold on to that thought. My sister said the king of the north.
Tu kita kalau
The king of the south, he's dead here.
tu ni dah sama ti memori hati tuan.
When did he resurrect?
Ngona dah bendur kena.
A bit before.
Tu ngona.
Right here, when he begins to deal with the papacy or the king of the north.
Ngomong tu sari mulia raya.
So, we can think of this in 2 ways.
Tu ni baka samtang gua na urunya sana.
You have an army
Dona mati balu.
and you have a church,
Dona lotu.
church state.
Lotu kena mati balu.
But you could also think about it
Kata orang ni baka sama cakap.
as a marriage,
Bebeka nama mau.
because you have a king
Dono tui,
which is a state.
dono matin tui ha.
And as my sister said, it would be a queen that he would marry and love,
Dono sistem ko ni bawa ti kan dono marama.
literally.
Kanandi, kandi na.
But here,
Ike,
he's marrying this person.
Bukan tinggal itu kau ya, bamu tata tinggal kau Hindu.
Is this a real marriage?
Modal bamu dina,
17 verse 2 said,
tinggal itu ruah dalam kaya.
fornication. Fornication that's happening.
Nak balik.
So he's in a relationship with the papacy.
Yang balik santu lebih kan tinggal nama itu kena.
Not a real marriage.
Jangan di bamu dina,
Illegal.
tahu dundun bamu.
So they share
Dosa,
the
wasia.
same name.
Naya bata.
So, France here at the beginning is what?
Fransia mana tip kan tipu
King of the North.
tu ini to kalau.
Good.
Nak.
So it's the King of the North all the way through this history until at the end,
Yang tahu masa nak kini itu.
where he divorces the papacy,
Saya kalau tu ini Fransia masa bimbiu.
separation is complete, and he receives a deadly wound.
Yang tu betul tak pernah bimbiu. Disipta kan bebas nama Allah.
Now, the reason why I've done this,
Bunu tulak dulu mungkin Allah.
Future for America currently teach
Ficu mereka dua bata mulita kan, bata mulita kan.
that
Ni
first the south wing, then the east wing.
matai na rangi mana dia apa? Rangi mana na tu lagi?
First Raphia,
Matai Rafia,
which is the story of which king?
kita lalu tu lah.
King of the south.
Kawaliu. Kini dia apa?
Then, what would you expect after the south?
Tapi kalau nama kunci South,
Islam.
mana na tu lagi?
The storm suddenly gets worse, more intense.
Kuku lagi,
Gentle, then it becomes intense.
kuku lagi na depan.
Raphia, the king of the south,
Tu ni dia apa? Rafia.
hurts whom?
Kamu buat ini.
In the north.
Tu itu kalau.
A severe hurt or a gentle hurt?
Mabawa kuku saya mabawa mulmulungan.
Then comes the east, what will it do?
Lagu mana na tu lagi? Lagi.
Severe, more
Barusan.
intense.
Kuku.
So they teach
Tu bata mulita kan?
that at Panium,
Era penium.
there's going to be a severe attack by Islam
Yang dua na baru kuku ada kau musuh.
on the king of the north.
The king of the north.
And one of the evidences that they do for this
Dona mangkin din tu luar ka kana kudu baka sama go.
is the following.
Go, kino re.
They say, when does Islam come up?
Mono ka pala may kino musulman.
606.
Ono se ono.
And what's the key date before 606 on our board? Good. 606 is east.
Ono se ono ya ono tulaki.
What would you expect before 606?
Dapat na nama kan simper na ono se ono.
Before the east?
Simpernya east.
Before east you expect? South. What's the key date? 538.
Nama
So they teach
Tu bata mulita kan?
that France was what power in 538? Good. They teach it's the king of the south. I'm going to put it in blue because it's error.
Umar tu sa bata mulita kan ni king of south sa bata mai 58. Kaya kaya bota tu kata kabina iski na kasado.
This is what FFA currently teach.
Na nakata bata mulita tipo.
You know, repeat and enlarge.
Kila na toka rota tal kapag kalimutin lagi.
So the first evidence that they're going to give,
Atay man din tulo muna, tulo man ka.
Raphia gentle,
Rafia manunu,
Panium intense,
penyam ena kuko laki,
is the relationship
bio kani,
between France
France,
and Islam
bio kani tipu France but
at the
Islam.
beginning of the 1260.
Kaya tipu dulu no andro monso.
When they say France was the king of the south,
Siguro kini no France sa king of the south kini na.
and then Islam would be, if France would be the south, Islam would be the east.
Musulman will be the east. And ono sa.
South wing, east wing.
Lagi may na gema, lang mo na natin.
And we've just learned
Tu sige uli na.
that that's wrong.
Ya ito.
Now, in a study,
Kung tu uli,
their focus would be Raphia and Panium.
norto wananan o Rafia wat gipen.
And they'd give you evidence that Islam's going to do something severe at Panium.
Waktu sabata multa chungo no musulman yang nakabon na ka ena penya.
The first evidence that they're going to give,
Namatay ni kartu bata multa chungo.
which they will just brush over,
Waktu na ngole mai,
they'll say, we know France is the king of the south,
itong kilala niyo France na king of muna tunod laki.
don't we?
Sermen tu kilala?
And you'd say, amen.
Iyo.
If France is the king of the south,
Yung France,
and we know France came here at the beginning,
yung France tigu man kaya tigu.
therefore you have the king of the south
Umali tumi kaya tuni dia ba?
before Islam.
Sember no musulman.
Can you see how easy it is
Bagi turun rawa, di bawah orang cara rawa.
to do things wrong?
Maka mereka visa light ini saya ingin dulu.
So I spent one class showing you just one small error that Future for America are holding on to.
Kalau mandi kelas nga, yang waktu salah subito ngo, bata subito itu na lalali lain saat itu bata multa ngo o everything.
You have to pay attention to detail.
Dondor baru orang salah kamandi kaya salah bi mata lalai.
This is just a passing comment. They just say this
Oh, gua tu kan ordo tuku no tinga.
and they move on.
Ordo tos salah.
And we should say,
Dondor itu kaya.
stop.
Oh, man.
Let's just check this
Kau
first.
mandi kaya manta balik lagi.
And when you check,
Namun mandi kaya makina.
you can see
Ibu kiri tanah oh iko.
France is not the king of the south.
France yang saya puni dia apa?
If it was,
Kaya apa kina?
it wouldn't have been the first son of the papacy, it would have been its enemy.
Yang awal tu menolong mana sih ni mata ini dulu kan?
And we have historical evidence,
Saat itu bikin tu naman din yang itu release.
plain reading of history,
Mungkin will itu apa mau dia?
that France could not be the king of the south.
Orang ni kena ni France yang sinura apa dari nak itu lagi nak fatri.
Now the thing is,
Setelah kah?
if they watch his presentation,
Jam kartu sarah waktu na bulong oh.
they'd say, oh okay, it's not a problem.
Waktu nak kah? Sudah lengah.
We've got other evidence
Cuba tadi soal mandin dia na.
that first you have the south and then the east.
Tiko natu lagi sana ni. Dia apa kita natu lagi?
The
Terapa?
question is,
Nataro.
once you begin to see cracks or mistakes or gaps in a person's logic,
Mula salah tipu orang ni kita soal lalai, soal bulan dalam guru tiko.
you should be on alert
Betul mo yang masak.
to see if they're making mistakes in other places.
Yung kasakoy ang nakanaya, domen tu kan ramai sana lebih bono telekan tu bino pulis lebih pakai sama tali.
This is the first evidence that they give
Kalau mata ini mandin din na tersulia.
to begin to prove
Waktu mandin din tak kita.
the next year
Ambag minggu,
there's going to be an attack by Islam in the United States.
dua na kama wali baru tali o untuk Muslim di Amerika.
And it's based upon a premise that France was the king of the south in 538.
Kau cuma nak pakai sama ni o France tu ini dia apa yang bagi lima tuluan.
Which is error.
Kau ezaba.
Now, the application may be right.
Dulu dia kan kena rira Indonesia.
They might be correct that there's going to be an attack.
Dan dulu dia kan attack ni Muslim ni anda.
But we have to ask, what's the evidence?
Kami nak tolong ah. Nasa mana banding nanti na.
What's the logic? What's the rules that are being used?
Nalaw ka pakai attack meron ni kilekina, meron banding jinta kana bugira.
Repeat of history, that's what they're using here.
Repeat of history di kana banding kita lakasal woti.
And their history is wrong.
Yan na history zala.
And it takes time for us to give evidence to show that it's wrong.
Yan turun mo na meron bikin to itu suya ni banding jadi ni zala na history.
So we've done a number of things in this presentation.
Kita kata sa kawan ng tulong.
The main thing I wanted to show you
Kali mo katong buat kami kinto.
was that it's very easy
Raraw sara,
to state things as a fact
natutukol na ka,
which end up being shown to be wrong.
kaya tintin ni zala ka natutukol.
And unless you pay careful attention,
Vamos sara kaya ka on dame ka, vamos liya ba binaka?
it's not easy to see that.
Sila niraraw din na narida na kala.
And you can't use a single rule.
Sino na ba nga nga indo na lawa?
If you use a single rule,
Yung kana banta nga indo na lawa,
this becomes Islam.
enayado na natudakyan mo
Because the
musulman.
East is always a symbol of Islam.
But no natudaki wata karbatatuan musulman.
Except that it's not.
Abo ato gasyan.
And neither are locusts.
Siya talangan yung locust.
Revelation 9.
Magtalang kinawa sa liwa.
Locusts are not always Islam.
Locust. Mo siya katuma yung musulman yung labing.
You can't just proof text the word.
Sindra ni makaya katakan na posa.
You have to read contextually.
Yung mga huli ka talaga na siya matuga ko ni wasi.
We called it.
Natuga di ba?
Which I said context. You're going to say historically. Good. We need to read historically.
Metutuloy na bika saud.
As well as proof texting.
Magkatawa kinano bito mata posa.
And you have to come up to the same answer with each methodology.
Mendo nga na isaw ni bit lawa kaya ito tubakan ka.
If there's a problem somewhere, you know you've made a mistake.
Yung kanto na lang ito muna kembali ni koreda, ito na tali ko.
I know we all have questions.
Kaya dito kita bikin di ko nata.
We don't have all the answers. I certainly don't.
Siyang tigun ka na bikin ito sinta.
But please ask your questions.
Ya kira-kira kunin tarong anong
We're
tarong.
going to do our best to answer them.
Kita na sangan ditunggu begitu na semua benar.
By the end of the week,
Sa minta pernah ko,
it's our aim to demonstrate to you
dito mangande, dito warta bikin to.
that you have more to fear within than you have without.
Yung libo na ka, mga bakilong, may ito ka.
And God's movement
Yung tostos na kalong,
is this movement today.
may tostos ng wala.
The movement that we're in now.
Tostos na tutikin ng wala.
Future for America
Future for America,
have left the movement. They've fallen into the wicked world below,
kaya ang bimbiutin may bilang tostos ni kalong ko.
despite the fact that they make the same accusations against us.
Di na nga niya ito nakabot ko ito na bimbita, kaya may bakana ito nakabot ko.
They will call us Jesuits,
Ito na kasi bikin to Jesuits,
false prophets,
profita ba kayo laso,
people led by Satan,
pamata luti ka na tebor,
and we would say
kung na kaya,
that all their accusations have already proven to be incorrect.
nabimbita ka ito ito sa bandingin tak nizal ka rin.
They're not following the rules consistently.
Waktu sa mulia tu nalawan, waktu banding tiga tu tiga,
It takes careful analysis to show you that.
ya naturun tu na banding tiga pindah kamar kita buat kami tu ni.
And that's what we try to do today.
Cuma buat ni kau yang katu pun kata kita buat.
We went through things that you're all familiar with.
Tu lah kedua orang kantor saklar tu.
We then develop those ideas
Tu sana gitar lagi meja, sana mana nama.
to show you how one simple mistake,
Tu baru kita bikin tu itu na, lain kali lagi.
which some of us made here.
Mereka so mereka bikin dasar mana?
Some of us believe that France was the kingdom of South here.
So bikin mampu tu nyo Fransai tu bahasa tu na
But you
fatri.
can see that it's not so.
Tu sana ni kuat ni siapa?
It shows the weakness
Ibarat kata tu lain kan?
in the methodologies that they're currently using.
Ada method cepat kira katu tu pakai nak.
It's great.
Tuan tu pas.
Heavenly Father, we thank you. We want to ask and pray that you would guide and direct and bless your people. As we gather together for this holy convocation, we pray that you would be with us and that you would speak to us. May the truths for this present dispensation be understood in a clearer way so that each of us may make the correct decision of whom we will serve. Bless us, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.